Instead of having them come in vertical, can you program it to have them come in horizontal across the slats?
Yeah. So in my previous nest, I could have forced it to rotate at to be on the long ways. Or once I'm in here, I can select these components and rotate them. And then move them around on the sheet so I can, bring them into that other angle, or I can force that before I start my nest to force it to whichever angle I want.
Okay.
Now, in regards to would be well, before we go into the part splitting, any other just general questions about nesting tools? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty intuitive, whatever it is you're trying to do. But I just want to make sure you guys, any questions that you have as far as just part manipulation or nesting before we look at the part splitting tool.
See that there's a re-nesting button at the top there. Does that, for when you do some manual manipulation, it just kind of re-centers everything and kind of pushes it all to the corner, or how does that work?
Re-nesting would reapply the auto rules. What you're thinking, I think, is maybe auto spacing. So let's say that we deleted these parts off, and then I used wider spacing. That would then, you see those parts all shifted and then spread out. So that just kind of increases sheet skeleton integrity and evens the parts out on the sheet.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because like on the previous example, you had your remnant cut off of the end, but maybe we want to have those long parts be horizontal instead of vertical as the way that you had it on the screen. So we might need to remove some of that remnant to make up for some of that extra space that we would need, but we're getting the alignment on the bed or for grain or for whatever reason we need it to be that direction.
Yep. So I could come in here into my remnant cut and delete that remnant off. And then, maybe I could grab these parts and just move them off the workplace temporarily. And then I could, work on rotating these parts and relaying them out. Or I could just go back to my auto close out and change my rotation settings and then redo auto.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of however it is that you want to work with it in each individual case.
Yeah, seeing what tools we have available to us here. So that's one way of doing it there.
Yep.
Yeah, because I'd prefer to just to start the whole process bringing them in, horizontal instead of vertical, as much as possible.
Yep. So yeah, you could we could do that in the previous step. We could just have we'll waste a minute of time here or whatever, but we'll just go ahead and close this out quick. And let's say we go to here and we sort by X. So now I can see, or maybe sort by Y, because now I can say, and I could have set this up in my parameters as well, but maybe we would say like all these parts that are less than 10 inches in the Y, we want to take all of these parts and we want to force this to 90-degree rotation. Let's see. So this one that one goes no rotation. That's already laid out the way we want it. That one we could say no rotation. This one would be free still. This one's a circle, so it doesn't matter. And this one doesn't really matter. But so for these longer, skinnier parts that are only 3 inches in the Y, and now that orientation that I'm looking at in the lower left-hand corner is going to be what the rotation is based off of, with 90 degrees being rotating to the left. Sure. So both of these I could set to no rotation, or I could set to 0 or 180. So with these parts, they're symmetrical, so it doesn't matter. But for some components, that might make a difference.
Yeah.
So that would be, and then we could redo our auto nesting. And then when it applies all of those. When it does the
So what he
layout,
did
it'll
is
automatically have those
Look at that
oriented.
first roof deck individually.
Yeah.
But then he merged that with a bunch of others, and that's what we're seeing here now.
I think this is just one roof deck. But he's making, was it 5 instances of that one roof deck?
Okay, that, yeah, because
Yes, yep.
obviously there's a
instances.
whole bunch more parts here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, roof deck, Rich.
Yeah. What was that, Steve?
It's a big rough deck. It's got a lot of parts.
Yeah. Exactly.
I do like how it separated it all out and split it so that we don't have to.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Cause even when we get like the DWG in AutoCAD, it's still one piece with the division lines in it, and we have to copy it out, split it, and put it back together with the gap.
Hmm.
So that's doing it all for us.
yeah.
Quite easy.
Yeah,